Okay, hey everyone. I'm just doing a quick little video to show you some of the molds that I've made and I work with, because I get a lot of questions on, well, pretty much how a mold is made and how you use them. So I've collected some of the molds I'm currently using and some of my molds that I've just retired. And I'll just show you some little basics, just about a couple of them. This one is my puppy mold. It's my newest one. I have one puppy up for sale, and I'll be posting some more soon. And I'm working on another sculpt, which is this guy here. I've been working on him for, it's actually been quite a while. I'm just not quite happy with him. There's something about it I'm just not happy with yet, but I'll figure that out. And I've got another puppy going that's a little bit smaller, and again, though, this is, oh, paw fell off. This is what I've got so far. Yeah, it's a work in progress. And then I've got the little tail. But I'll be getting it done little by little. Its head's up there. It's kind of still separate until I get the basic of the body done. But with this puppy mold, it has the pour spout, a pretty big pour spout here. And then the seam. See right here. So when you're pouring it, it's like this. You put a little bit of silicone right here and here, and then it's pretty much held together while the seam cures. And you can use little push pins or whatever just to hold it in place as it cures. And for the seam, I like to use the exact same silicone that I'll be pouring with. So if some of the seam gets into here, it doesn't look weird on the doll or the puppy or whatever you're pouring. But when you go to pour it, all you do is peel away the seam, and you open it and you get the little guy out. And this one is actually totally different, sort of. This one is actually only a temporary mold because I wasn't sure if I was going to like it or not. So what this is made out of is actually, it's a food grade mold. It's usually something that would be used in the kitchen. But this is actually a tiny rabbit, and it doesn't have a seam, as you can see. For the rabbit, when I pour it, I actually just take it out from this hole here. There's no seam or anything. I just trim it around and round it out when I pull it out. It has no seam. It's just the pour spout. And with this hamster, the hamster doesn't even have any seam or pour spout to trim off, because this is the bottom. So if I pour it right, then it's completely flat, and I just pull it from the mold. There's no trimming, none of that stuff. And then I got this one, which is just one of my classic little mini baby molds, where it has the pour spout and the seam going down the back and halfway down, so I can get it out easier. And then this one is a block mold, which I'm not going to open it up because it's actually being used currently. And I have cardboard on the back just to kind of give it some more stability. But this one is actually a two-part mold. You actually take it apart. And there's actually a seam running all around. And then the pour spout. So this is a block mold. This is a glove mold. And this is one of my this is the kitten mold. It's now retired. It's pretty dirty, but it's been used a lot. But it slowly just kind of tore a little bit. So it retired. And I'm working on a new kitten sculpt, so I'm hoping to have some more out soon. And with the tear right here, on the rat mold, I decided to be more on the safe side, and yep, right here where it goes down from the seam. See where it goes down there, where it's more likely to tear? I have a piece of material. You actually put the you soak the material in the silicone, and then you put a nice layer here, and you put that on top and you seal it in real well. You have to make sure that the cloth or material, whatever you're using, is completely drenched in the silicone so it sticks on real tight. And it prevents the seam from tearing down further than what you want. And then this is just another one of my like little retired molds. It was a little avatar baby. Right here, again, it's just like the normal glove mold where it has the pour spout on top and a seam going down the back and halfway down the tail. And then on the tip of the tail, it actually has a slit. So when you're pulling the baby, you can loosen the tail on this side and push the tail through so it doesn't get torn off or stuck or something. And then on some of mine that have the ears that go up, there's a slit here as well. So when the baby's setting, once it's set a little bit, you can actually open up the ear and pour more silicone in just in case an air bubble got stuck in the ears. Let's see. This one, I don't have to do that though because the ears face down, so air doesn't really get stuck in the ears. But in the hands, I have a slit because the hands kept getting stuck. So right here, I can reach in and loosen the hands and push the hand through. Because there's like suction right there, so it holds it in real tight. And if you just keep pulling and pulling, you can damage it and tear it, and that's no good. So just like a little slit there to help push it through. And before you pour, you just want to make sure you seal all these with a little bit of silicone. And then you let that like cure so it doesn't leak. But this is just some of my like basic molds. And let's see, this one is a really kind of really bendable and squishy mold. This one, I believe I made with EcoFlex, which isn't a really good one to make molds with because it has like, it's not stiff enough to hold its shape on its own, so it's actually very hard to use. And this one, I don't remember what this stuff is called, but again, this is only a temporary mold. This one I like quite a bit because it's stiff, it holds its shape, and even if it falls over or it leans funny, it's not going to leave an indent on the doll inside. And I made a very thick seam right there, just to make sure it goes together perfect. Yeah, you might hear my cat in the background. He's a very, very fluffy cat, so I think he's got a hairball. But anybody with cats knows they can they're fighting over a box. Okay. But yeah, if you guys have any questions about how I make my molds, or if you're just wondering about anything, just let me know. I'll tell you what I can about them. But yeah. Oh, this one right here. I forgot to tell you. This one, so far, I like this best for making a mold. I actually have a jar here. This is what I use to make it. It actually works really well. It's one of my favorites. This and dragon skin. Dragon skin works very well. Just remember, before you pour, always make sure to use plenty of mold release. Sometimes you want to use more than like 2 applications of it or so. Just make sure that it doesn't get stuck too bad. And you want to get every little crease, every little detail, and the seam. You want to get the inside of the seam, here, and even the outside. And if you got like the little slits in the hands or in the tail or wherever, make sure to put the mold release there too, because again, it can get stuck. Because that can end up sealing itself and you're not going to be able to open it up. Which would kind of defeat the purpose of it being there in the first place. But, yep, okay. Well, I'll see you guys later. Bye!